Hello, how you doing? I'm Dale Robin Jr. the third, and this is Slow to Pro, a video series where we go from slow to making videos even slower to those who egged me on. This is all your fault that this video exists. I blame you. If you don't click like and subscribe to the channel, I'm gonna swim up your toilet the next time you sit down. We're back on track with Zealous Racing League here for their 14th season. Last video, we were sitting P1 in the championship. That is until Mr. Chase Gordon got bumped up from the rookies class. Congratulations to him for the promotion. But now we're sitting in second place coming into this third round at Hungaroring as far as points are concerned. We got 25 cars on the grid. 10 of those cars are drivers with white number badges, so they're in the gold class, not competing against us. 12 of us have black or gray number badges to indicate we're in the silver class. And we got 3 rookies with red badges along for the journey. We are starting in P22 overall, which is P11 in the silver class, and it's time for the green flag. Now, this race was at this point several months ago, so I don't remember much about it other than one particular situation that we're definitely going to talk about later. But as we head up to turn 1 here, just trying to hang on to the bumper of Mr. Rustin and his Lamborghini, trying not to get involved in any of the kerfluffles that may occur. And thankfully, because it's a league race, everybody keeps their knuckles on their own heads, everybody keeps their marbles in their bags, and so far everybody keeps their cars from going to pit lane after the opening lap. Headed to turn 2 here, we got a Porsche on our outside thinking he's some slick daddy, but he ain't. I'm gonna break right free of him right here. Boom, you ain't nothing but a fly on my ass, boy. Let's get on through this next fast speed turn. We're gonna try to take a peek up the outside here of Mr. Rustin, and then I'm gonna think, probably not a good idea to ruin both of our races this early. Let's wait for that move till later, but we don't have to because we was spooking him enough to get him off into the wall there. Gains us a position, the only position we're going to gain here on this opening lap, puts us up into P21 overall, P10 in the silver class. Let's go ahead and skip on ahead to see if there's any other action. Here we are at the end of lap number 3, still right behind Mr. Maurer in the 117 purple Ferrari, running clean until we come upon some dweebs doing some knucklehead stuff. Looks like Glenn got the worst of it. We gain a position to him, puts us up into P19 overall, P9 in the silver class, and it's time to skip ahead. Here we are at the end of lap number 4. Gonna go ahead and set up for a very nice entry into the final turn, really trying to nail the exit here, trying to carry as much speed as I can down the straight to try to get a move on Mr. Maurer here. Looked like he had a slip on his exit, which is going to be beneficial to us. We squeak up the inside, and now it's just a matter of making sure to hit the right braking point, because I had missed it on the lap previous, but not this lap. Get it all the way down in the first gear, get the power on. It's a nice clean pass. Credit to Mr. Maurer. He could have been an idiot at any moment and turned in too early, but he was not, because he's a smart driver. Hats off. That move puts us up into P18 overall, P8 in the silver class. Let's go ahead and skip ahead again. Here we are all the way at the end, because there was absolutely zero action for the majority of this race. We only gained positions to people getting track cut penalties and pit lane speeding penalties, but it got us all the way up to P14 overall, P4 in the silver class. But for the last several laps, some old Canadian bastard has been dropping the gap to me, and now he's right on my tail. I blow the turn, Glenn gets up on the inside, but I'm able to maintain some extra speed, get back up alongside, and Glenn decides to leave me no option but to back out or hit this awkward curve. So we hit that awkward curve, and it sends us to the equivalent of Christy Gnome's house for a puppy. I feel like I've been shot. Not only do we lose a position to Glenn, but we lose a position to Mr. Lung in the number 80 car, thanks to this fucking unnecessary drive-through, which had us cross the line in P16 overall, P6 in the silver class. But after penalties, we ended up back in P5, so it's all good. On to the next race. Here we are at Valencia for round number 4. We've got 11 gold class drivers, 15 silver class, and 5 rookies for 31 total cars on the grid. We're starting in P15 overall, which is P6 in the silver class, and it's time for the green flag. Now, Valencia is a circuit that I love racing on, but unfortunately I don't have much racing experience on it, so I'm going to take it pretty easy heading into turn 1. Rexy, the Porsche, going to come flying around, but that's okay. It's Mr. Dubé. He's in the gold class, losing a position to him. Doesn't even matter. Got a car off on the left there. Looks like maybe 2 cars off on the left. And now we head into turn 2 and I've got 2 cars on the outside, so I've got to make sure I keep my exit nice and tight. We're able to get clear, thankfully. Got Mr. Flores in front of us here in his McLaren. He's going to bump Mr. DeBay, and we're going to have to check up a little bit, let these knuckleheads get their wheels back underneath them. This first lap, it's all about survival for me. Got to keep my head on a swivel, keep one eye on the circuit, one eye on the radar, one eye on the relative, one eye on my penis. I've got Carlos on my outside, but he's nothing to worry about, not because he's a bad driver, but because he's a sensible one, so I can keep my eyes in front of me on this battle that's waging between Mr. Flores and Mr. Pitch. Mr. Flores going to miss the braking point here. Mr. Pitch going to make a great move, sweep back up around the inside of him, and get nice and clear as we head into the next section of track. I've got Mr. Wolf sniffing up my tail, wanting to get around me desperately. Let's go ahead and skip ahead to when that happens. Here we are on lap number 2, sitting in P17 overall. Mr. Pitch misses the braking point. I think it's a great time to sweep up the inside, but unfortunately he gets that Aston Martin back under control, gets it back on the throttle, and is able to box me out from the inside line of this next turn. And Mr. Wolf sees that, and he's going to go ahead and say, "Thank you, sir. I'll take that line as well." And right on by me he goes, drops us down to P18. I have no idea. The HUD's all screwed up on this circuit. We'll figure this out later. Sweep it up now through the final 2 turns of the second lap, and ahead of us here, Mr. Flores and the Jolly Rancher Porsche are going to have a bit of a moment of some kind. It's hard to really tell exactly what happened there, but we're going to be able to get around both of them. And that's going to put one in-class position behind us. Mr. Flores, though he's very fast, so I'm sure he'll get that back later. Let's go ahead and skip ahead and find out. Here we are coming up to the final turn of lap number 3. Mr. Flores has much more momentum than I do. Takes the inside line, and he's going to be able to seal that position up. Easy peasy. Parks it on the apex, slows me down. It's a great pass. Puts us down into P17 overall, P8 within the silver class. So we are down 2 positions from where we qualified, but we've still got 55 minutes to go. Let's go ahead and skip on ahead to the next bit of action. Here we are on lap number 12, sitting in P11 overall, which is P3 in class at the moment. Here is P number 2. We're going to get right up along the inside of Mr. Pitch, but he's going to do a great job maintaining his speed, holding that outside line, and he's going to get the inside line to the next turn. And I'm going to do a poor job of holding my speed and maintaining my line. And because of that, he gets a better exit. We got to tuck back in behind, and let's go ahead and skip to the end of this very lap, going into the final turn. Mr. Pitch going to have a bit of a moment on that exit curve, and I'm going to go right around the outside. It felt ballsy, but it felt like it had to be done. That pass was good enough to put us up into P9 overall, P2 in the silver, P8, whatever. We're passing people in the pits because it's pitting time. We've still got 2 mandatory pit stops to go, but yeah, P2 in the silver class for now. And if we skip ahead, magically, here we are at the very end, because I literally had no other on-track action after that moment. So yeah, finished P2 in class. It's going to maintain us P2 in the championship, and let's move on ahead again. Here we are at Red Bull Ring for round number 5, and we are starting P18 overall, P9 in the silver class, and it's time for another green flag. When I race at Red Bull Ring, I really like to have the outside line headed into turn 1. There's a nice escape road up at the top of the hill. You're going to see why I like to be on the outside line, because when somebody gets spun around like this here, you got somewhere to go other than getting your car all fucked up in the first fucking turn. I'm just kidding. It's only 6 seconds worth of damage, and with my extremely low skill level, it's likely I won't even notice it. Heading up to this next hairpin turn, turn number 2. Probably my worst turn in all of sim racing, but it looks like it's even worse for Glenn. Let's go ahead and squeeze up the inside of that dork. See you later, dweeb. Puts us up into who knows what position, because the HUD's all over the place on the opening lap here. But I believe that puts us up into P6 in the silver class. Let's go ahead and skip ahead to the start of lap number 2. Here we go, headed up to turn 1. Mr. Fletcher on the inside, gonna miss the braking point. Mr. Pitch gonna just barely avoid him. I'm gonna be able to snake it up the inside of him as well. That gains us a position in class. That should be P5 in the silver class, P14 overall. But I'm not done. I've got my nose in the air. I got the taste of blood on my tongue. I'm about to take it around the outside of Mr. Pitch. I don't give no shits. I hope he sticks it and doesn't hit me. Thank goodness he does. We stick it side by side, but he doesn't get quite the exit that he needs to. We get more momentum, more power down. We're able to get the position. Now we're going to go ahead and cut off the inside, because Duh, why wouldn't we? He's gonna try to do the same shit I just did to him, but it ain't gonna work. I'm too fucking good. And now that we've got that pass stuck down, that puts us up into P4 in the silver class, P13 overall. It's time to skip ahead to see how we get to Colossus bumper. It's just your typical run-of-the-mill every day, get in the draft, get over on entry, hit the breaking point, make it stick. You know, it's a run-of-the-mill pass, but it also requires a good dance partner. Again, shout out to Colossus for not turning in too early and ruining both of our nights. Drivers like that make for good teammates in endurance events. Let's go ahead and skip ahead to the next bit of action. Here we are with just under 10 minutes remaining. We find ourselves all the way up in P9 overall, P2 in the silver class, but Mr. Nicholson is right on my tail. Coming through this turn, did not have my best exit, got out into the sand a little bit there, killed my speed. Mr. Nicholson's gonna pull up alongside. I'm gonna take a look over and say, you know, P3 is good enough for me. I'll yield the position in an effort to preserve both of our podiums. Skipping ahead again, that is indeed where we finished, P10 overall. P3 in the silver class, keeps us at P2 in the championship yet again. On to the next race. Okay, so this is round 6 and it was at the Nürburgring 24-hour circuit, also known as the Nordschleife. I'm gonna shoot you straight here. I hate this circuit. First, I don't know it. Second, I just think it's a very poor racing circuit. It's a great lapping circuit, but I like racing, not lapping, so I fucking hate it. So I'm gonna skip most of this entire bullshit. We had 3 notable moments. Let's go ahead and skip ahead now to the first one. Here we are on lap number 4. I noticed on the previous lap, Mr. Bartlett was a little slow through this section, and here we go. We're gonna sneak it right down the left side of him there. Yeah, it was just a cool moment. It was scary for me. We survived it thanks to Mr. Bartlett's participation. And if we skip ahead just a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and screw the breaking point, give Glenn a blast. And there goes Mr. Bartlett skating on by. I'm sure he's enjoying that view. And we can skip ahead now to the very final lap for the 3rd moment in this race. It's again with Mr. Bartlett headed here into this turn. I'm gonna go right up around the outside. You've seen me do it before, you'll see me do it again. And P12 overall is where we crossed the line. It was good enough for P5 in the silver class. So we went from P10 at the start of this race to P5. So it wasn't a bad race. I just hated it. Let's go ahead and get to the next one. Here we are at Watkins Glen for the final round of Zealous Racing League's 14th season. We're starting off P17 overall, P7 in the silver class, and it's time for this season's final green flag. Coming into this race, I was pretty much guaranteed to hold P2 in the championship no matter the outcome, so I was really just looking for a good time without making the stewards mad. So coming up to turn 1, I'm not going to be bashful. I'm going to stick my big fat bald head right up the outside just as Mr. Lung in the Ferrari and someone else in the BMW get turned around. That's 2 free positions. I will take those. Thank you very much. Coming up the hill now, we've got a run on the Porsche there, so that's going to be an easy pass, but that's a rookie driver, so it means nothing. It doesn't count for points or anything like that. Now we're going to get side by side with Mr. Wolf, who's also in a different class, and then I'm going to go ahead and just screw the pooch, take it right through the grass here, and thankfully Mr. Wolf doesn't murder me as I slide back onto the track, regain traction, and get moving again. Got a little grimace on my face there because I'm very embarrassed about what I've just done in front of him. I'm gonna go ahead and yield the position to him here coming through this next turn. Gonna let him have it, ease off the throttle a little bit, wait to put it down. There we go. Let's give him that position back, and we'll come back to that one later. How much later? Not too much later. Let's skip ahead now to the 3rd lap of the race when I try the same exact move with the exact same outcome. Here we are side by side with Mr. Wolf. Here I go, screwing up the braking, going right across the grass again, but this time, fortunately, well, not fortunately, fortunately for me, not fortunately for him, there was a pass. There's the pass I was looking for. He's behind us now. Let's go ahead and skip now to the start of lap number 4. I've gone ahead and let Mr. Gonzalez through because he's in a higher class and he's a much faster driver. We head through turn 1 and pretty much all hell breaks loose. A Porsche that went wide to avoid the initial wreck just rejoins directly into Mr. Gonzalez, so we get that position back plus another one. We're up to P11 overall now. P4 in class because 2 of those cheese balls out on the side were in the silver class. Let's go ahead and skip ahead now to the next bit of action. Here we are on lap number 23. We're all the way up to P8 overall, P2 in the silver class thanks to a solid splash and dash pit stop. But Mr. Nicholson in the number 21 Porsche has been closing the gap pretty much since I left the pits. We're down under 5 minutes to go, and I make a massive mistake going through the chicane, send myself across the gigantic bump in the grass, hit the wall, and lose the position to Mr. Nicholson. That little extracurricular cost us 1 overall position. 1 position in class drops us down to P9 overall, P3 in the silver class. And if we skip ahead to the end of the race, that is indeed where we cross the line, looking at the final season standings for the gold class now. Congratulations to Mr. Rivera for his championship win. Mr. Portis II earns the 2nd spot, and Mr. Clifford takes the 3rd podium spot home. In the silver class, congratulations to Mr. Gordon for his championship win. We took home the 2nd spot, and Mr. Rustin gets himself onto the podium with a win in the final round. Lastly but not leastly, we've got the rookies. Congratulations to Mr. Reed for his championship win. Mr. Macho Mujarian takes the 2nd place, and Mr. Sands earns the final podium spot. Congratulations to them. Thank you to everyone who participated in this season. Special thanks to the ones who made every race, and extra special thanks to the admins of Zealous Racing League. Going forward, I'm either going to do a better job at making videos in a timely manner, or I'm going to commit to streaming. One of the two. We're going to find out together. Until then, thanks for watching Slow to Pro. I'm Dale Robin Jr. III. You guys have the kind of day you want to have.